1. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. This is episode 8, and we're recording on September 25th, 2018. I'm Doug, and joining me, as always, we have Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Jenny.
It's me, Jenny.
And Anita.
Hello.
And just a quick heads up on our YouTube channel, we'll be covering Show Me the Money 777 episode 3. That's a YouTube exclusive, so check that out after you listen to this main podcast. But today's main topic that we're going to talk about is K-pop groups with a hard carry, and we will explain more what that means once we get to the main topic. But the first thing we do, as always, is we're going to go over the big new releases for this week. There was only 2. Last week on September 19th, we had Uju Sonyo with Save You, Save Me, and the following day, September 20th, Thursday, we had Dreamcatcher with What? What did y'all think about these songs?
I think I love Uju Sonya's song.
Same.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
I
was like-
really like the song. They're definitely going back with the space theme, which
Yeah.
they should because that's their name.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought the song was good, but I don't know if it was enough to push them higher up on the K-pop like tier list if there was one.
Yeah, I kind of felt like along the same lines because I felt like this was a time where they need their like TT, where they need their like big hit song. It just kind of felt like it was good.
I'm happy that they definitely realized that the Happy, which was 2 releases ago, the cheerleader theme was a complete mistake, and they've gone back to the space and colorful palette theme. And this release is kind of special, obviously, because the Chinese members are not there. And within the Chinese members, Songso is probably the most popular member of the group overall. So it's bold releasing a song right now without them. But I would say that I was fine with the Chinese members not being there.
I honestly liked it a little more, not gonna lie.
Yeah, Warren and I talked about how
Yeah.
we didn't realize how pretty some of the girls were because everyone's just looking at the Chinese line a lot of the time.
Oh my god.
Instead of like a Songso center, it was Bona was the center during the chorus, and she's really good looking. Who would have known?
She is. She is.
But I'm just. You can go.
I
Warren.
hope I really hope they win a first place next week because we'll discuss this in a second.
So-
but, like they didn't win anything.
If we want to talk about timing, right? This is their best shot ever to win a music show.
Yeah.
So the reasoning I feel is. So we'll you know what? Let me talk about the show winners real quick, and I will come back to this because it's really clear as to why this is their best chance. So in terms of show winners, it's very simple. Sunmi won every single show that aired. She won. There was only 5 shows that aired this week, all of them but the show. She won all 5 of them, bringing her win total to 6. And this is the second week of like her song being able to win things, right? And that's generally when songs that win tend to start not winning shows anymore, right? 2 weeks is about the magic period. So if Uju Sonyo was ever going to win, this is the time.
This is it.
Oh, you're right.
Because the only other song that came back was Dreamcatcher, and their song would definitely chart higher than Dreamcatcher's, no offense.
Yeah.
And the only they obviously, the people they got to watch out for was GOT7, because GOT7 song is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But it's not like certain songs don't appear on every single show generally, right? So Uju Sonyo is prime position to like sneak out a win on like the show, which is on SBS MTV, the lowest tier show, right? I really hope they win something because as a group, they have a huge problem in the fact that they're from Starship, and the iZone girls in Starship are like, they're waiting to take their spot.
Oh yeah.
Let's be straight up.
Yo, low key, like they had an interview. I read a lot of their interviews, and on an interview, they straight up were like, we've like been on candidates for first place a couple times now. We really want to get first place now." They literally said that they want to be first place. Like this,
Of course, yeah.
yeah. Like if this is when they don't get it, like it's gonna be really difficult.
So
for
so
them,
here's
for
the
sure.
issue they have, right? They've also said in interviews that they haven't gotten paid yet.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh,
So
yeah.
we never covered this topic but for those of you at home who don't really know, when you are an idol group and you're a trainee, which is the period before you debut, you incur debt to the company, generally speaking. And when you become an idol, you generally work that off over time, and then you can finally start making a lot of money yourself. but they're still in the period, and they've been around for like 2-3 years where the company's still taking the majority of the money. That's a struggle. Like,
That is a struggle.
but
I hope like I know like those little shows like The Show and those shows. I hope they win like a major broadcast show too.
what if they like I know you're a GOT7 fan, but it would be great to see them like upset GOT7 on like Inkigayo or something. Just one of them.
Oh
right?
yeah. I mean,
At
the
least
best
once. Yeah.
would be to like kind of share the wins. You know what I mean?
But
But
They
I
win
ha-
Pink or Inkigo next week, I will cry. I will literally
if
cry.
Sunmi and
Same.
GOT7 sweep the awards next week, it's very big trouble for Uju Sonyo.
Yeah.
Because so you know how like so one of the news will eventually cover is that iZone signed 2.5-year contracts, right? That 2.5-year expiration date kind of also holds true for Uju Sonyo at this point.
Yeah.
Because in iZone there's An Yujin and Jang Won-young, and they're probably two of the most talented kids in iZone, and they are just waiting to debut through Starship. And once they debut and Starship throws all the resources onto them, Uju Sonyo is so screwed. The only way they could protect themselves is if they start winning stuff. But at the same time, this is definitely a step in the right direction. Like,
Totally.
Yeah, musically. I just enjoy it a lot
great
more.
song. I'm happy that Starship is still investing good money for good songs.
Yeah.
their quality of like the production and also the choreography, I was like, wow, this is good.
It's clear that the company's backing them, but now they have to like gain popularity however they can, right? Like But let's move on to the Dreamcatcher song. What? Okay, so
I remember Doug saying last week like that they need to do something different this time.
They doubled down on the rock and roll theme. It wasn't even
they doubled down on the anime opening shit.
It was like I know it was anime-y still, but it was even more rock than normal.
Yeah.
It was even heavier than normal. And I guess that's a change, but at the same time I was like, damn.
Change in the wrong direction.
They tried to write Happy Face is trying to write out this gimmick, it seems.
Oh, they're from Happy Face?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But I thought I like this song the least out of all of the songs they've had, personally.
Same.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was no like the other songs for me had more of like a catchy anime-y chorus going on, and this one was more just like rock and roll, like. I don't know. But they are, like, as we know, Dreamcatcher is very popular internationally, but they have very little popularity. Everyone in Korea knows them, and they're like, yeah, that's that cool group that does rock and roll, but no one, like, respects them. Like, it's a struggle because they're one of those groups, like, yeah, they're popular because they do a rock and roll theme, but that's clearly not enough to make them very popular.
I really want to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think this is just one of those groups with like manias, like you know what that is, like
hardcore fans.
Yeah, like hardcore fans, like specific people who likes them. Like personally, I don't enjoy rock, so I don't think I could ever get into them. But I feel like people who loves rock and who loves like K-pop is like a perfect match for them.
If you like anime, this is the group for you.
Yes, that too.
Bro, every single one of their songs could be an anime intro.
I'm always kind of concerned though, because like, is that making them enough money? Like, is this profitable? Like, you know, like I'm trying to figure out what the company has in plan in the long term.
As we've done this podcast, it like I really think about the business side a lot more now. Like in terms of like, I'm not just like I hope they make it. I'm like I hope they're profitable so that their company keeps investing in them. That kind of thing. But we'll see, because I don't think either of the two songs are charting very well.
No. If honestly, if they keep like pushing out songs like this, they're not gonna chart well. And like Jenny said, they're looks like they're going for like a hardcore fandom kind of thing. But like that doesn't even seem like it's happening at the moment. So Warren and I talked about this on Facebook this week. How we think that there's a lot of rookie groups right now who are really wanting to replace the Generation 3 K-pop girl groups that aren't like big yet. Like your Oh My Girls, your Lovelies, your Uju Sonyo.
They need to watch out for the rookie groups like Yeoja Idol, Gongwon Sonyo, Luna.
Yeah.
It seems like we're at a point where it could almost be considered a Gen 3.5.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And if you're not a top tier like a Blackpink or a Mamamoo, you better watch out because these young groups are hungry and they come in and their companies are investing heavily. But I still think Uju Sonyo has time. I don't know if this was the song that pushed them up over the edge, but it's definitely going in the right direction still.
Yeah, definitely.
I just hope they win something. They deserve it.
Dude, I'm telling you, if they win first place next week, I will like.
If you cry, can you take a picture, please?
Dude, I will
Oh
take
my
a picture of my
gosh.
tears.
Okay.
Wow.
What
It'll be my profile picture of that week.
When iZone maybe wins a thing, I will have a flip out. It'll be great. I'll record
iZone's
myself.
gonna win something, you know it.
Of course.
We don't know. Maybe that, but
Of course.
Oh my god, I can't wait for their debut. It's gonna be so good.
Soon.
all right. Let's move on to the show. So I already covered the show winner. Sunmi won 5 awards, bringing her total to 6. She's
Holy
killing
shit.
it, and it's like there's not much of a field right now to challenge her, which is great. Great strategy on her company. So let's go into our main topic: K-pop groups with a hard carry. So I wrote down this
Hard carry,
a
huh?
definition
Hard
of
carry?
what I think of a hard carry is. I don't know. It's a very weird description, but let's see. I wrote a hard carry is an individual whose popularity far exceeds the popularity of the other members in a group. Not necessarily carrying the actual performances of the promotions on a musical side, but more of carrying the overall popularity of the group, and it could be one person or a couple people within a group.
Okay.
Wait,
Could give
you
a
came
couple
up with
examples?
this definition?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's more like carrying the group in terms of popularity versus carrying them like talent wise or something.
So it's like when one member has way more popularity than the rest of the
Yeah.
members.
And
Okay.
Could it sometimes be both?
I think it could be both too. But
Yeah.
for this conversation,
Not
we'll talk
usually,
about popularity because that's what makes money. I think one of the biggest examples ever is Chaunu and Astro. Like
Oh yeah.
it's like if you're a casual fan and don't follow Astro, you're hard pressed to know anyone but that kid in that group.
That's me.
True.
I don't know anybody else.
So
Actually, I know who Taonu is. Up until this point, I don't think I knew that he was part of Astro.
exactly.
Oh my god.
But
Wow.
other examples of hard carries I wrote down were Gugudan, Sejong, definitely the hard carry of that group. Another huge Daya and Jeoncheon,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wakey
for sure.
Makey, Yujung and Doyeon. Like that's
Yep.
Monster X Juhan. And then one that someone wrote debatable next to, I said Winner and Songmino. I'm a casual and I only really know Songmino.
Okay.
I
I wrote
wanna-
debatable.
I think that's debatable as well. Like I know,
Okay.
like I'm a pretty big casual, and I know the other people.
Okay,
Like, I
but
know all
for
their names.
Someone like me, if you showed me another member, I wouldn't know if he was in Winner, honestly.
Really?
I think the winner in Korea is very what do you call it?
Yeah, Winner's a lot bigger in Korea. I would
Yeah,
say.
it's more like a
Yeah.
casual kind of fandom. And you know, the other members also appeared on a bunch of like variety shows and stuff. So I think
Yeah.
most people know them. I would have thought the most well known was like Kang Seung-yeon because he's familiar to Koreans
Yeah.
since like Superstar K2,
I would say
which
Okay.
is
so
like
too.
forever ago. Yeah, so that's just what
Yeah.
that's just what I think.
But
yeah.
I feel like we should talk about not about the individual examples, but like what does that mean for a group? Do you know what I mean? Like the
Right,
effect of
right.
having
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hard
yeah.
carry.
It
So
means a lot of things.
in an ideal world, all of your idols would have like equal popularity and be pretty popular, right? Like in an ideal world, if everything was perfect, your idols would all be spread out so they could do lots of stuff, go on variety shows, do TV shows, act, all that stuff. So the group's very popular. But that is never the case, of course. Certain kids will be more popular in your group. That's just how it's going to happen. Now, when a hard carry situation happens is when literally only one kid gets work outside of the group's promotions. Now, I think overall, any type of popularity for a group is a good thing, right? Because you want to be notable. It's that thing where any news is good news, right?
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, I think having a hard carry in your group is bad for growing the group's overall fandom because
Yeah.
people are fans of the one kid and not of the group.
Yeah.
So what do you guys feel about that?
I definitely feel like it has not always, but there's been like very extreme cases where it like kind of like destroys the fandom per se. Like
Yeah, I would worried
know what I
about
mean?
that too.
like it's not one of the examples you mentioned, but Pristin is kind of this example where certain members are really really popular and certain members are really 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 unpopular.
Yep.
Like I don't know if you guys seen it. I can share it with you guys, but there was a GIF.
Oh yeah, Warren sent me this photo. So there was this one member, Kyla, who's currently on hiatus from the group because she had mental / what they're calling health issues, but honestly, it was because people in Korea were mean about her weight. Let's be straight up here.
Yeah.
And there's a certain GIF of they're at a fan meeting, right? And you know how the kids stand on the stage and people take pictures of them and stuff. No one is pointing one camera at this girl, and they're all pointing it away from her at the other members, even though she's right in front of them.
Oh my god, let me see this.
And
It's
like,
like-
she wasn't just standing either. She was like winking. She was
It's
like doing
just
all, like,
it's
the
so
cute
rude.
poses.
Like if I was one of the camera guys, I'd be like, all right, I know this girl's not why I'm here, but I would take some pictures of her so she doesn't feel bad. But nope, they were like, F this. I want to take pictures of Joo Young and Kim Na-young,
Pinky.
Im Na-young. It's like it's hella rude.
That's so sad.
It's crazy. And
Now-
like
That's so sad.
people kind of always point that out as an example of like how like Pristin fandom didn't really become a proper fandom in the early phase, and a lot of people have been saying when Pristin V was back that like that's the reason Pristin V's a thing, and like Pristin is like not gonna be like
See,
a huge thing. And, like,
Those are piggybacking off of last week's topic. A lot of the groups with the hard carries are groups that come out of Produce because when those kids
That's
when
true,
they're
yeah.
in debuting groups, they have a lot of popularity coming in, and the other kids, everyone's like, who the hell are you? I only know the kids who are on
Yeah.
Produce.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's a gift and a curse at the same time because your group is notable, but like your non-popular members are so screwed in terms of being able to do anything.
yeah.
I think, like you said, it's definitely like benefiting the group at first. Like I'm gonna bring 4 Minute and Hyuna right now.
Yes, that was a great
Oh,
example.
think-
yeah.
That's one of the classic
Yeah.
like hard carry
Yeah.
example because. But we gotta say, like 4 Minute was pretty good at start, you know, and a lot of people knew Hyuna from Wonder Girls, and the group
Hell
was
yeah.
doing good. But then at the end, you know, only Hyuna stayed in Cuba, everyone in the group just disbanded, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like in the end, the group, the other members who are not getting that popularity will feel bad, almost like guilty, I feel like.
You know?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the other one that's popular is like overworked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I was worried for her back, not only because she was carrying the group, but because of the implants she got. I was just worried for her back.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Let's be straight up. Anyone could look up those photos, and it's very clear that she got some work done. But we'll talk about plastic surgery in the future.
Oh my god!
I just had to throw that in there because it makes me laugh every time. Props to her though. If she wants it, flaunt it, whatever. But
I remember. I do remember there was a point though, like later on, after post like 2011 or so,
Mhm.
other members started getting really popular. Like they were never at Hyuna level, obviously, but like
Yeah.
I think like
Mhm.
Tokyo was
Mhm.
it?
That's
She was
true.
getting
Yeah,
very popular
yeah.
for a very
they
specific
were
body part, if you will.
they were lucky because their songs were so good that it did build a fan base still.
Oh yeah.
They're very lucky in that case. But towards like okay, so when I see pictures, I follow a couple of the 4 Minute members on Instagram. When they meet up, it's always all of them without Hyuna.
Oh Jesus.
Aw.
No, I
See, yeah, I feel like that's the concern that I would have as a fan. Like, if someone is getting so much attention, like, how does that affect the group as
Mhm. And-
like a working group? Like, I feel like there's some hard feelings for someone that gets more work than you.
It probably feels fucking shitty. That's what it is.
Now,
like.
now I know I get like if you're a member of a group and you got a kid in your group who's pretty popular, it's your job to like support that member because any popularity they get is
Yeah.
helping you out. But at the same time, I could see why resentment could build over time when you're like you
Yeah, that's
hustling
what
out
I would
here.
worry about.
You trying to make our little group grow, but that only your chingu, your friend, is getting on all the opportunities. It could over like 3-4 years, it could definitely work down on your psyche.
Okay, recently the Daya members,
Yes.
they said this about Cheon. They're like, they actually like said this in an interview. They're like, oh yeah, sometimes we envied Cheon, always being on the center. Like when it was
Damn.
my part on
Yeah.
stage,
Shit.
they were filming Cheon, and they said that, and a bunch of like people commenting, they were saying like, oh, they're not grateful. Like Cheon is like the face of the group. Like she's doing all this work for them. Like they were, it was pretty like negative feedback for them. They were like, why aren't you guys grateful? But I feel like if I were in their shoes, like I
You
would be
feel a little
envious
bad.
too, Yeah, I would feel bad. Like I'm doing all the work just as much as she is, but
Yeah.
I just think I don't know, it's kind of
It
controversial.
seems like their company did hear that because she was not as featured as much in the last music video as she normally is.
Yeah, that's what I think happened too.
But the song flopped completely. So what are you gonna do? It's like honestly, when you're in the struggle phase, you have to number one release great music, right? Releasing good music will get more people to become your fan. But number two, I feel sometimes when you're in the early phases, you do have to support your hard carry heavily because they're getting your name out there more than like you are. But there's definitely a balance to it all, and it's tough.
Okay,
I always kind of felt.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I always kind of felt like they always begin with like focusing on the hard carries, and I always feel like they kind of like long term they want to strategize to get that popularity moved on to the other members as well. Like I've never seen that happen properly. You know what I mean? Like
I would say
no. I was gonna actually give you a positive example of this.
oh okay.
I don't know if you guys remember, but Beast, like back when Ki-gwang was like the only guy on variety shows, and he was on High Cake. He was super, super popular. But in the end, Beast got really big, and I guess it's kind of more about the fandom things. Like, the fandom started to see like everyone in the group, not just him. So I think it's dependent on the fandom, first of all, but also like all of them kind of, worked their ways up there.
I would agree. Like I kind of know all the members of Beast. I would say another group that does it pretty well is BTOB. Like I know Seungjae is like the main.
Good one.
Seungjae is the main face, and they pushed him heavily. But every single member of BTOB, pretty much know who they are because they all been hustling in their own ways. Like
exactly.
Like Pinyel came out with his balding story, which was a very brave thing of him, so people know who he is. You have Eunkwang just making everyone lol on every single thing he's on. Like
so funny.
He's doing a lot of like musicals too,
Yeah.
It's all about like understanding. Yes, they're pushing Seungjae, but how can that benefit the rest of us? And also going on like the show he's on with him and being really funny on that gets other people interested in the group. So it's like I feel there's a responsibility as the not the hard carry kids to try to piggyback off the success, but it's also a responsibility of your hard carry to share the wealth at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I'm the hard carry and they want me on a show, I'd be like, can we bring one other kid with me? Something like that.
I hope they would do that.
I feel like
don't know.
the companies need to fight for because like obviously certain like a talk show would want your main kid but I think the company, she said, we'll only let you have the main kid if we could bring two other kids with him. Something like that.
This is very true because I remember BTOB's Seungjae and also Eunkwang. I mean, not Eunkwang, sorry, Ki-gwang from Beast. They will go in variety shows that always mention B2B.
Yeah,
or
that
Beast.
you
Like,
gotta do that.
Yeah, Seungjae's always like, oh, my B2B hyung. So there's like a whole like compilation of him talking about B2B on like different variety shows.
Exactly.
And yeah, he really cared about the group. I think it's also for the hard carriers to like really mention the group and make people take interest in their groups and not just, be on their own. Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
you gotta be like, if you think I'm cool, check out my hyungs in the group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something like that. And then when you do get the opportunities, like when you so the thing that's coming up is that idol athletic competition. The first episode of it came out today. When you're on that kind of thing, obviously they're gonna pick your main kid as one of the participants. Let's say in like archery, it's a 3-man team, right? You're gonna pick your popular kid. Then your other 2 kids with the popular kid also have to make an effort to be funny too with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you do get your opportunities, you gotta like really take advantage of it, because the K-pop world is small and it's hard to get your face out there. And when I think another group that did it pretty well, but it might it's a lot easier though when you're really popular. Like,
Oh yeah.
if like let's say if Big Bang was not as popular as they ever got, certain members like Seungri people wouldn't know who he is if they were a smaller group. This is mostly an issue on a smaller scale, when it's more critical, because when you're super popular, everyone will get popular eventually.
True.
But let's see.
Has there been an example like a I know you mentioned Winner as one of them, but like I feel like it's a lot more common in girl groups than boy groups. You know what I mean? Like,
I do feel it is more popular in girl groups as well.
And I think that's kind of going back to like the fandom. I think it's like the culture of the fandom.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the fangirls are like, oh, I like him. All right, the whole group is my
That's
baby
so
now.
true.
Yeah, it's true.
Think of it like this.
Yeah.
The people spending money in the K-pop world are females, right?
yeah.
Females like groups and they're willing to invest money and commit to these groups, whereas guys generally pick one girl and like, this is the pretty one. Like, this is the one I like.
That's so true.
And that's what makes certain girls in certain groups a hard carry. It's generally always the really pretty one.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
tough
That makes
overall,
sense.
but I like, we could close this up in a bit because this isn't a really expensive topic, but at the same time, man, I think when you like a group, you should never, if you want the group to be successful, you shouldn't just like one member. You should try to get around to
Spread the love.
Spread the love.
Yeah.
I think it's like when you get to know them and you don't like them, like that's a different story. But you should at least give it a chance. You know?
Yep. And
Yep.
I was thinking about myself as a fan of iZone in general, and I'm like, I'm this big of a fan, and they don't have any music out, right? And I think that's the best way, because that means I like the kids before the music, and I think that's very important. Of being like a good fan, it's like even when the music sucks, you gotta stick around and tough it out through tough times. When there's a controversy, you gotta stay strong.
Stick through.
You
Gotta
know,
stick it through.
when I was watching Produce 101 season 2, I never thought like one of the members could be my baby, but I found myself fighting the antis on the internet
Hell
for
yeah.
him. Okay, and he was not my pick during the show, but once he was in the group, he's my baby. I gotta protect him.
Yo, I definitely feel like when the show was on, man, like I did not like An Yujin, I did not like Yena, but
Bro.
like, now I'm just like,
Now.
bro, we're in this together.
Bro,
Come here, we're a family now.
Whenever there's like awful or negative comments in the Reddit, I'm like, 이게 신발.
Yo, downvote that shit.
I know,
Downvote to
I
hell.
know. I was
Negative
like-
10 points.
I was like, you mother.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what I
Because-
thought was really beautiful was like I was hanging out in the male the male fandom websites, and like just a week or two ago, everyone was hating on like the girls, and now everyone's like, "Yo, stop hating on them. This is family now." And, like,
I know exactly.
Because-
It's family.
y'all grew up. Y'all grew up.
If one of the members in the group gets shit on, that means the group is getting shit on. That means
Yes.
it will
Yeah.
affect your kid too. So you can't let that happen. You gotta
Yeah,
love
yeah.
everyone.
If one kid's getting shit on, then the shit like resonates to everyone else too. Like the
Yeah.
kid you like.
Exactly.
So
In the toilet.
what? All right.
The lesson of the day.
I think we've talked enough about that, man. We got passionate at the end. I like it. So
It's good discussion.
we saved a lot of time for the news because there's a lot of important news. First one, the major bombshell of the week. Jun So-mi confirms her new
boy.
contract
Boy.
with YG's The Black Label.
Hey, yo.
Let's go, homie. Let's go.
Okay, so for one of you who know better, explain what The Black Label is within YG.
Should I do that or do you
Yeah,
want
that's fine.
to Jetty? Okay,
I
so
don't know. You can go.
YG has right. YG like ran a bunch. They created a bunch of sub labels a couple years ago, and one of them is Black Label. It's run by Teddy, which is one of the main producers of YG. Teddy produced a lot of Big Bang 21
You know,
Blackpink
like
songs.
Blackpink. He basically writes all the Blackpink songs.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he Blackpink. So yeah. So far, Black Label has been more of a production kind of label. Nobody else is in it at the moment except Zion T.
Mhm.
Zion T's in it.
Yeah.
But who else? Actually, there's one more. What's his name? Kush. Kush was.
Oh.
Question, Martin.
Yeah,
Do you
go
think
ahead.
with this news, it pretty much confirms that she's going to be a solo artist?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, at this point.
That's what I think, and I think it's
Yeah.
going to be like a Teddy Somi like team.
Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking as well at the moment. Except the problem is like Teddy's always kind of busy like making songs, and YG is like YG's not really famous for freely letting artists release music. I'll put it that way. You know what I mean? Like
Okay, I'm on the all K-pop website, and the first comment is, are you sure this is the best choice? Look at other YG solo artists, Lehigh,
Yeah.
CL. They're
It's a
barely
little-
getting any comeback from the agency.
Is this this is also the first instance where a major player has moved from a big three to another big three, right? Company.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah.
So this is very
think so.
this is very groundbreaking territory here, and we don't know what the hell is gonna happen. I mean, Teddy has to have time. He's not dating Hanisul anymore.
Are you serious? They broke up?
A while ago.
Oh, I'm out of it.
Bro, he should have put a ring on that. Let's be straight up, Teddy. What are you doing taking that L, fam?
Alright, coming back to the topic, right? I feel like Teddy's a great producer. He's written all the Blackpink songs. He's written Kashina. He's written all the Big Bang songs. He's a great producer. Got it. I don't feel like it fits Tommy. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Mm.
Like every time someone says Tommy, what I think of is like that like American pop music.
Namu
kinda,
namu
like-
namu, bro.
Right.
That's what I
Yeah,
think of.
vibe,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Teddy is more like girl crush.
This
kinda
would
vibe,
fit
you know?
Somi if she was like
Yeah.
23, but she's not 23.
Hmm.
I am very interested to see what will happen though. And good luck to
Yeah.
Somi because you're super talented and we hope the best for you in this new endeavor. And I'm so glued to the screen waiting for something to come out of this. But hopefully she doesn't get trapped in the basement. Let's be straight
Oh
up.
boy.
YG might be a while.
Okay, so the next two are Bangtan news. BTS gives an inspiring speech at the United Nations. That was yesterday. And BTS to perform in New York Times Square on Good Morning America tomorrow on September 26th.
Wow.
Dang.
So for our
wow.
international people listening, Good Morning America is the premier American early morning news show. It's like the big time, as big as you can get.
Yeah.
And obviously the United Nations is absolutely humongous. And I listened to most of Rap
Big.
Monster's speech and it was tremendous.
Mm.
He talked
I didn't
about
listen to it.
he
What was it
talked
about?
mostly about how that countries need to invest in their youth and how he's thankful that Korea invested into
Yeah.
youth programs that allowed him to succeed because he's from the countryside and without that kind of investment
Oh.
he would have never made it. And it was a great look.
Wow.
They had like a little bit of a council afterwards. He sat next to the Korean first lady. They all did. There was it was hilarious. They're at the UN and like you know how they have those playing cards in front of them with their names.
Yeah.
So the one next to the president's wife had her name, and then right next to theirs there was one that said BTS.
Oh.
Damn.
And he
Wow.
spoke completely in English. And you should check
He's
out his
amazing.
speech. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah. He's
And
amazing.
you could tell he was really nervous because his hands were shaking. But his voice did not stutter though, which was great.
Yeah. He's wow.
Yo, BTS is global. Holy.
Yeah.
They're
Literally
huge.
UN.
All right, so going back to how this
UN.
affected me,
Yeah.
So for some of you know, I live in Brooklyn, which is one of the boroughs of New York, and on Sunday I was in the city because my parents and my uncle and my aunt performed at Carnegie Hall with their choir,
Oh.
Oh wow.
so that's pretty cool. But when we were leaving to go home, all the streets were blocked because it was near where the United Nations thing. So I got in traffic on the way home because of BTS and other people. That is my connection to
Wow.
BTS this weekend.
Wow, great connection. Yeah.
All right.
That
all
is a
right.
connection.
Good for you.
All right, let's move on to other American sort of K-pop news. Even weirder, NCT 127. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. They're going to be performing on Jimmy
What?
Kimmel Live. Oh my
Wow.
god!
Oh my
Did
god!
not expect that.
What?
Yo, that's where Tyler the
Crazy.
Creator was a couple of years
I
ago.
thought like if someone was
Yeah.
gonna go on Kimmel, it would obviously be like BTS or like Blackpink
Yeah.
or
They haven't yet.
Tiffany or something like that. But
Wow.
like NCT,
Oh my
What the
god!
dang?
Let's go.
shout out to
I'm
them.
excited, but I don't know
That,
what
that's
they're gonna
very
perform.
impressive that SM could negotiate that.
Yeah, shout out to SM. Holy shit.
They flexing their muscles per usual. But all right, next news. There was a lot of news circulating that YG Entertainment's gonna launch a new girl group survival show, and that YG is also planning to launch a boy group survival show sometime soon.
Oh, wow.
Stop
And-
it, YG.
And if you listened to last week, you heard how bad Mix 9 was. This is a terrible idea, in my opinion. Although he might be more
Well-
invested because it's his own trainees.
Yeah.
I mean, really though?
Hopefully.
Really? Like another show
This
right
com-
after one flopped big time?
This
Like,
this completely relates to the next news article, which is Produce 101 Season 4 with male trainees might be coming in spring of 2019. So, like, we can't have this
my
many
gosh,
shows
what?
going on at once. It would be a mess.
What?
And I don't think you can directly compete with a Produce show because everyone knows
can't,
that they're solid.
Yeah.
So we will see. But I mean, I thought the trend of survival shows was over, but it is apparently not. And JYP might be having one soon too. So Jesus.
don't do it, YG. Don't do it. Don't. It's a horrible idea.
Just focus on Somi for now.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So
It's
last.
gonna be like the Interstellar meme. Like they're gonna look back and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done it.
But lastly, I got some iZone news. Let's go iZone. Okay. But iZone and From Us 9 to be managed by new label Off the Record from now on. That's the first news. On number 2 is Off the Record Entertainment confirms that the Japanese iZone members will be taking a 2.5-year hiatus from their AKB activities until 2021.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's a long time.
Additionally,
Wow.
before we
Nobody's
get
gonna
into
clap besides me.
before we get into the iZone news specifically, another thing that came out was AKB's having a main release in November, like the All-Star team release, so the best kids from all of the teams, and every single Japanese trainee who made top 20 is going to be on that song.
Dang.
That is huge.
Go Jury.
That is huge because someone like Miho hasn't been on that kind of 8-track song in like 5 years.
Nope, she was on it
Wow.
2016.
2016? Okay, I got my info wrong, but
Huh.
ridiculous. And the centers of the new song will be the 3 girls who are in iZone. So Sakura, Hitomi, and Nako are the centers of that song. Absolutely bananas.
Wow.
Wow, I'm really happy for all those girls who
Yeah.
went on the show. I'm very proud of
Yeah.
them.
It's like they're coming back to a hero's reward, and I think it's well
Yes.
deserved.
Yeah.
Because they hustled to get on that show. But now let's talk about the 2.5 years exclusive contracts for the Japanese members, which is
Woo!
somewhat controversial. But Warren,
Yeah.
what are your
Hey,
reactions?
yo, I'm happy. Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, if I was a Japanese fan, I might be a little like, meh, because like, I'm not gonna be able to do my regular old handshake event or like theater performance, watching and shit like that.
Mhm.
But like, I feel like in the long term, this is definitely a great way to go.
I'm very happy, optimistic, but I'm a little bit worried because someone like Sakura or Nako has, when you're in AKB, you generally have a lot more freedom than you in the Korean system. Like Sakura runs a gaming channel. She posts on all of her social media all the time. I'm worried about her in the Korean system because they're going to be dormed and generally social media is restricted more.
I feel like for them though, it's going to be a really good experience. So I mean, like the
Yeah.
difference will be hard, but that's why they came on the show in the first place,
Yep.
right? Because they wanted to experience like a Korean idol. So I feel like this like 2.5 years is like pretty good for them. It'll be a good experience.
I
Also-
think it's a trade-off. It's a good trade-off.
Also, one more
Yeah.
thing about the Japanese single that'll be coming out in November is they've hired a K-pop choreographer. So It seems like in Japan they're
Ooh.
stepping up their game too because they realize the talent level difference between the two countries. So, and Akimoto definitely knows what he's doing because he's a smart man.
That's great.
Let's see, what else do I have to say about Izone? Oh, so on a personal level, my sister and I binge watched more than half of the season this weekend in pretty much one day.
Y'all crazy.
She's a extreme Nuna fan. No, not Nuna fan. Unni fan of Cheana. That's
right.
Literally her favorite kid on the planet, and she finally understands what it means to be a K-pop fan. She said,
Wow.
Congrats.
Dang.
she found
Welcome.
her Oshimen or her favorite kid. So good for her.
Aw.
And we've just been sending each other pictures of Cheana all the time now. It's a good conversation. But let's see, what else do I have to say about Izone? So I think the 2.5-year period starts once that Japanese song gets released, I think. And the one thing though is their reality show's coming out at the end of this month, I believe. So I am super hyped for that because I need more content because I'm running out of content.
Ooh, by the way, can I say something about YBY?
Yes, they have traction.
So, yeah, they're gaining a little bit of traction. So if you guys don't know what that is, YBY is like it's trying to be the next kind of fan kind of led project girl group. IBI came out of the first season. JBJ came out of the second season. This season we're trying to focus on a bunch of girls. Judy is one of them, and we have the people who are trying to lead this project, the fandom who's trying to lead this project, have confirmed with a couple news reporters who work in the celebrity industry, who have said that all the companies involved know that this is a thing and are trying to lead things in a positive direction, including the Japanese companies. So
Hey, congrats, Warren.
know,
Congrats.
There you
I'm kinda
go.
excited, not gonna lie.
Warren's hustling online for this. Straight
Dude.
up. He's learning Japanese right now to try to bridge the gap of languages.
Konnichiwa, Juri-san. Hi. Do
Oh
it.
my god.
Okay, so yeah, I could go more into Izone, but I don't think casual fans would want to care because there's controversies right now about mint chocolate chip ice cream. That's a big controversy in the Izone fandom right now. You can look that up if you want to know. I am pro mint chocolate ice cream. Warren is anti.
I am anti. Jesus, go away.
Okay.
You know what you could do? We could do like an after podcast and just cover Izone.
I mean, we probably will because we don't have that much to talk about today. If you want to, it's fine.
Maybe.
But
we'll see.
let's see. I think that's all the news we had today. Does anyone else have anything they've been listening to or anything special like that? Okay, I'm gonna shout out to a couple songs. The Im Chen-jung song is really good. The Roy Kim song that's out is very good as well. You could check them out on Spotify. They're all there. I'll go into upcoming releases now, though. So there's only one upcoming release this week on October 1st, which is, let me look at my calendar.
Icon.
That is next Monday. We got Icon coming back. Which
Ooh.
It's so sad. The teaser's so sad.
I did
Really?
not watch the teaser, and it's interesting because they're normally a hype group. So I guess
Yeah.
it's sad, though. We will see. But we are SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. Thanks for listening in. We're going to be doing a post-podcast discussion of Show Me the Money 777. I'm Doug, and joining me as always were Warren, Jenny, and Anita. Thanks to them. Check out our social media. Our podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.